Hello everyone, this is Javamonk, and welcome to episode 68 of my survival series. So, this episode, we're gonna do something, we're gonna revamp something ridiculously old. And that is this elevator right here. I built this back in, I think, episode 16. This was back before I really knew how slime block flying machines really worked. I still don't entirely know how they work, but I knew even less back then than I do now. So, this here is a flying machine, a flying elevator in fact, that I designed based on Willy Wonka's Great Glass Elevator. And it works great. Only problem is, it is huge. Also, that in like episode 55 or something, I tried transporting villagers with it, and the villagers kept phasing through the ground. I eventually got them up there, but it was a pain. I killed like 20 villagers. It was quite sad. So, instead of that, up on that big island, I want to put a villager trading hall. And if we're gonna do that, this is just not gonna good. This is just not gonna do. Killing 20 villagers just to get 4 up in the sky is not the way to go. So we're gonna completely tear this down and totally revamp it. And that will hopefully be a relatively fast process. And also, I'm just gonna swap out all this glazed terracotta here in the walls here with actual wood, because this new elevator that I designed, it still uses a flying machine because I like the idea of having a flying machine going up to the island, but it is not as glitchy, and in fact, it works pretty much 100% of the time. No phasing, no glitching, and the cool part is, since this is 1.13, no ghost blocks. Welcome to the colossal mess that is my test world. So, right over here, we have a flying machine that is specifically designed to carry villagers. And this is tiny and absolutely, it's pretty much in all slime blocks. There's pretty much nothing else here, but it has carpets on top, so the villager here should be able to go up and down just fine. So, this flying machine is amazing, and all it has is just one engine. That's it. 2 pistons and 2 observers. And the rest of it is just a whole colossal ton of slime blocks, which I am fully prepared to get because that slime farm has been ridiculously useful. The main use for this flying machine will actually be taking villagers from the villager breeder and plopping them onto the machine here, which I can then push upwards, just like this. So, that is the villager villager-specific flying machine. I'm sure I could replace one of these with rails, so I could stack multiple villagers in here at once. In fact, I'm going to make a few minor improvements to this so that it actually does work with villagers in minecarts and I can bring multiple at once. A few minor tweaks later, and now there is this system right here. So, this rail on the minecart allows for minecarts to basically be stacked inside of each other as long as it doesn't exceed 25. So I can transport like 20 villagers at a time. I only currently have 1 villager, but the concept is the same. Once we put all 20 villagers onto this thing here, then all I gotta do is just activate the flying machine, and that'll send it upwards. And it doesn't look like the minecarts are behaving properly. In fact, I'm pretty sure they aren't. Maybe actually having a mob inside the minecarts would help? Maybe? I don't know. That villager also doesn't look like he's actually in the minecart. And also the rail's facing the wrong way. Rail should be facing this way. There we go. So it looks like the minecarts didn't really behave. Okay, the new design for the villager transport system. We have a little elevator cell to prevent the villagers from escaping. They will not be transported in minecarts, but rather they'll be transported as single villagers crammed together into a 1x1 space. So now let's just activate this. And here is the redstone that's going to happen once the flying machine gets up here. At the moment, there's just a lever to actually activate it, but we can do the redstone itself in survival. So, this flicks open right here, and then this activates right here, which will push the villagers into this spot over here, which will eventually be some sort of villager containment cell, where the flying machine then returns, this closes back up, and the flying machine goes back down, waiting for more villagers. Okay, that is going to be the system to transport all of those villagers from the mansion to the big island and then back down. I'm not going to be transporting any villagers back down, but that is the system to transport villagers up to what will eventually be the villager trading hall. I figured I might as well build this up on camera, so Quicksilver, please get out of my way. And now, this super tiny flying machine is going to go up to the big island up there. So now, let's just pull out obsidian right here. This is one of the few times that I'm actually building a flying machine in survival and live on camera as well. So let's see. This will eventually be some sort of redstone to automatically bring the flying machine upwards. I hope to eventually just close off this room completely. The original purpose of the flying machine was to transport me up to the island, but I have elytra here, so I don't really need a flying machine to go up to the big island. However, the villagers do need a flying machine. So, let's see. You know what would really help? If I swap that outside beacon from speed to jump boost. The flying machine was built up quite easily, but now we have a different problem. We need to somehow detect how many villagers are in this cell. And this way the flying machine can automatically go upwards whenever I want to get new villagers. And it will automatically go upwards when I have 20 villagers in here. I could go 25, but I prefer if there were just 20. So, this means we're gonna have to build a hopper-dropper clock. Or more like a dropper counter. So let's see. I've never really successfully built one of these contraptions. But let's see. What I do know from attempting to build these is that you need 20 items in a dropper facing into a hopper. Let's see. Again, I've never really successfully built one of these, so this is really a discovery process here. So in order for this to work, you need a redstone torch to power this hopper. This way, if you power this dropper, then the item would just pop into the hopper and then immediately go back in. But if we put a redstone torch over here, then all of a sudden, this becomes a... Let's see. Just get a button here. There we go. Now we have 19 items in here and 1 in the hopper. And we can keep doing this until the dropper empties. So, when the dropper becomes empty, we need to detect that because that means that the signal has passed through 20 times. And I suppose we could do that with just a comparator. And then a block here and another redstone torch. Just like this. And this way, we can detect when this thing is ready to go. Let's real quick just place obsidian over here. Just like that. This way it doesn't accidentally escape from us. So when the system realizes that there are now 20 villagers in here, it will automatically set off the flying machine and transport those villagers upwards. But now, when this happens, we also need the ability to unlock this hopper and put those items back into the dropper. So, how in the world are we going to do that? I suppose I could... Nah, that'll mess with the comparator. Maybe if I do something like this? So this way, if I just grab some more redstone here. Let's see. So if I place some redstone, like... I technically don't need this block here. Or this. Okay. If we do something like this, then here's how I'm expecting this to work. It's probably not going to work out this way. But after this dropper gets powered 20 times, then it will set off the flying machine, and it will also unlock the hopper, allowing some items to come through. So let's see. That slime block can be powered, so I'm just going to plop a redstone lamp on the side, just to ensure that it actually works here. So now we got to do is just, I suppose that could decrease the amount of items here. There we go. Now we have 5 items in the dropper, and there's a lot of lag here. Okay, so there's the first button press, second press, third press. There's item number 4, still an item in here, 4 in here, and now the 5th one activates the redstone and also doesn't function at all. It's not releasing the items back. A simple pulse extender might do the trick. This, of course, could turn into a comparator clock rather than a pulse extender, but here we go. Let's test this out anyway. And here we go. Okay, so this redstone lamp is flashing like crazy, but that's because the flying machine is still there, and the observer is still detecting this redstone here. But that's not going to be a problem once the actual system once the flying machine gets launched, then that flashing problem shouldn't be an issue. However, if we now take a look at the hopper, we now have the 3 items in here. Let's actually put 20 items in here now and test and make sure that this will still work. So let's see. Let's just, there we go. Okay. Let's see if the pulse is actually long enough to allow all the items to come back into the dropper. I hope it is. Although it doesn't look like it. Nope, it's not. Okay, this place is looking kind of messy now. So the flying machine is built up. I have a detector rail over here, so the villagers coming from the villager breeder over here can be piped up to this rail line and just dropped straight into this place over here. Now over here I'm going to need an activator rail to actually get the villagers out of their minecarts, because that's the only way that they're transportable. So I was just trying to put together a system to possibly retract the rails in such a way that it doesn't break off. Let's see if this actually could happen. And that's a big fat nope. Okay. So first off, we're going to have to put in an activator rail to dispense the villagers over here. And second, we're going to need a way to curve the rails in such a way that they're not in the way of this flying machine when it flies upwards. This contraption is just becoming more Rube Goldberg-y than before. So now we have a villager in a minecart coming up this rail and sliding into this tunnel where this activator rail is supposed to put the villager right here into this water stream. I'm going to real quick switch out of the camera account so that I can show you what happens when the villager gets into the water stream. This, by the way, is a waterlogged dark oak trapdoor. So now what happens is this pressure plate here will serve as the counter, and then this pressure plate I'm going to hook up to this button here, which will basically push the villager into the flying machine. There's also a double piston extender to prevent the villager from going too far, so all the villagers will just end up right on this carpet right here, and pretty much unable to move, because they are blocked with the walls, and they can't exactly jump. Oh, brother. Once again, we have redstone spaghetti, and I think I overcooked it. But this system works now. So, let's say I'm a villager. I'm a villager. And here we go. Hops into the water stream, and both the minecart and the villager will end up in here. And we gotta stop the minecart from doing that. Okay, different solution. Okay, a little rundown of the chaotic and insane system that we just put in. So, okay, good. So we have a minecart in here. So there will be 20-some villagers coming up through here, and they'll be going along the minecart track. The villager gets ejected, and the minecart gets destroyed by the cactus and collected. Meanwhile, the villager goes over here, steps on the pressure plate, and gets shoved into the flying machine, along with all of his other villager friends. And once there's 20 villagers in this flying machine, then the machine will take off and fly up to the island. And that is the focus. That is the next thing we're going to focus on, is the island. The system to unload the villagers once they actually fly up there. And speaking of flying, guess what we can do? Okay, maybe not here, but let's see. All we gotta do is just jump up into the flying machine or something like that, and eventually we can get into contact with the rain. Or not. Anyway, check out what we can do with this, with just a trident and an elytra to break our fall if need be. We can pretty much just launch ourselves up to this island now. Just like that. Whoa! Uh-oh. And this is why I put on an elytra. Because that would have just been me plummeting to my death. Okay, whoa. Okay, that was way too fast. Here we are. Let's remove this hole here in the ground to the villager sorter down there. And instead, we're going to cover up this hole real quick. And instead of that, we're going to have the villager unloading system right here. This does mean that the flying machine will not come all the way up to the surface of the island. So I'm going to get some dirt and grass to patch up this hole here, because quite frankly, I didn't really like the idea of having a giant hole going all the way through the island. So we got to remove all of this redstone here, remove all of that redstone down here, and basically make it a better, basically replace it completely, because the system is brand new, the flying machine is brand new, and all the old ancient relics of episode 15, whenever I built that old flying machine, will soon be removed. And now, the moment of truth, where either everything we just built will fall apart, or it'll work simply beautifully. So let's remove this obsidian here, preventing the flying machine that is currently preventing the flying machine from flying anywhere. And now, fly. Okay. My goodness, it's a shame I can't actually get up there. Or can I? Let's see. Let's activate the elytra and fireworks, maybe. Whoa. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Did it destroy anything? Any of this redstone? It doesn't look like it. Oh, it took the dark oak block. Crap. Okay, gonna have to figure something out with that. But anyways, here we go. I might have to replace that double piston extender with a triple piston extender. Another contraption I've never built before. Okay, I preemptively put up an obsidian block right here. So hopefully this flying machine will arrive soon, and then it'll bump up. One of the walls of the machine will bump against the obsidian block here. And this way it'll be a nice and easy trip downwards. But I do have to figure out how to stop that dark oak block from getting stuck to the flying machine. Because I can't use glazed terracotta, they can't be retracted with sticky pistons. So a double piston extender wouldn't really work. And now begins the incredibly complicated and dangerous redstone, because if I fall, it'll just be a very long trip up here again. So to prevent any mishaps with the flying machine, I'm going to stop it from flying down, just like this. There we go. So now it can't fly down even if I update that piston, even if I update that observer accidentally. Now, and also if I update any of the observers, it won't accidentally activate. So now, as shown in the test world, we now have to put in a system to retract this glass block right here, and then have another flying machine push the villagers onto a separate water stream that'll bring them to the villager sorter, and then after that, actually, you know what? Maybe I should put the villagers into a special containment cell, and this way they can get into minecarts and then go into the villager sorter. Yeah, that sounds better. Now, this upwards mechanism over here will hopefully work like this. Once again, immensely complicated, but whatever. So we have the villagers are in this cell going, I'm up in this island, what's up with this? At which point, the machine will be detected. I'm still not sure how I'm going to do that, but the machine will be detected, and it will activate this system right here, which will remove the glass to allow the villagers in, and then this flying machine will push the villagers to a drop chute over here, where then they can have a piston over here, just like this, and I guess I can just put a rail here. There we go. Okay. So this flying machine will push the villagers into where they're supposed to be, which will be this drop chute right here and this containment cell. So this containment cell, this dispenser here will have a whole bunch of minecarts inside it, and whenever I'm ready to load in some villagers, then this system will dispense a whole bunch of minecarts, trapping a whole bunch of villagers, and they will come through this rail line here, and this rail line will bring them to this place here. Now this here is a very complex contraption that I'm really even though I'm the one who designed it, I honestly have no clue how this works. There's some sort of witchcraft going on here that if I unraveled it bit by bit, I'd probably be able to figure it out, but right now I have no idea how this works. However, I do know that this is a villager sorter here. You have 5 signs. So for example, say I push the button for cleric, then it will basically push the villager in a minecart onto a rail, which will then take them up to a villager trading hall. If it is what is this? A butcher or blacksmith, then they are instead dropped down here because butchers and blacksmiths are kind of pointless for me. There we go. And there's also systems for, say, I have a librarian. I definitely want to keep librarians. If there's a farmer, I definitely want to keep farmers. And also, but nitwits, I don't want to keep nitwits at all. In fact, nitwits are going to be given their own separate containment cell, because really the only function for nitwits are for things like villager breeders and iron farms, and I do intend on building a high-power iron farm. And in order to do that, I need tons and tons of villagers. Nitwits are by far the most useless villager, so I will give them a purpose, which is why they're getting a separate containment cells. But anyways, this system is pretty much ready to go. I can load in a bunch of villagers, I think. Well, first I gotta put in the system to detect when the minecart, the flying machine arrives, at which point it can then activate the system to unload the villagers. And that's pretty much it. Okay, this is possibly a really dumb and an even more overcomplicated idea, but I basically attached an observer to the side of this machine, made sure it wouldn't interfere with any of the redstone down at the bottom of the mansion. But basically this observer is going to come up. Actually, that might cause a problem. Yeah, if I replace this observer here with something like that. There we go. Okay. No, that would still cause problems. Okay, never mind. Scratch that. I'm gonna have to lower this a little bit, and that's gonna be a pain. There we go. Problem solved. So let's see. If we have... So this flying machine's gonna slide past this repeater and glazed terracotta without touching anything. and it could slide past this part here without touching or destroying anything. And then that redstone can power this entire redstone line, which will activate the villager unloading system. Okay, it all seems like it would work. I really don't see why it wouldn't. So let's do that. Cover up the island, and now let's test this out. Now, I personally do not know how to build a straight triple piston extender, but I do know how to build these things. And I'm guessing you sure hope so, because pretty much every single one of my course plant farm designs have one of these. And I see it, Mr. Creeper. Nice try. Okay, so the way these work, I'm going to have the dark oak over here to put it in the way of a villager that will be shoved out into this flying machine here. So, let's see. First off, we need some blocks here, so let's just get some gold here. Actually, we can build out a dark oak. Okay, and we need a crap ton of redstone. There we go. Whoa. Okay. So first off, we need something to power this part, so that's just going to do that. And then we need a system to power that piston, and then something to power that piston. So first, technically speaking, when you extend it, this piston is the first one to be extended right here. Except it's not extended because it's not in range of the redstone. So what actually happens is once this piston extends, this piston realizes it was supposed to extend, and so it extends, which brings this piston into range, and it also extends. As for attracting, this piston needs to attract, then this piston, then this piston. So the redstone for this, oh, and by the way, you can't have just 2 ticks over here. You have to actually put more than an extra tick of delay just to make this actually work, because pistons are weird. That is, of course, assuming 1.13.1 didn't change anything. Let's actually see if it did. Because if it did, then that would make things a lot easier. Okay, that extended forwards. Very good. And it doesn't extend backwards. Okay, so it looks like Minecraft 1.13.1 didn't change anything. So one repeater needs to be on 1 tick, one on 3 ticks, one on 4 ticks, one on technically 5 ticks here, with 2 repeaters. That way the extension works like this, and the retraction works like that. Okay, now here's the question. Does this actually work? Or am I going to need to put in some extra delay before this pushing circuit here? Let's see. Suppose I could put a repeater there. Let's see here. If I'm a villager and I end up in the water stream, okay then, that doesn't work at all. And it self-powers itself. Brilliant. Okay. Then we're gonna have to do something like that. There we go. Now let's see. If I go into here and... Okay. And... is it still self-powering? Why is this thing still being powered? That makes no sense. Did it break something? Oh, yeah. Forgot how repeaters work. Okay. I suppose I could just do something like this and skip this part entirely. There we go. Okay. Let's test that once again, after that little mishap where I forgot how repeaters worked. And that wasn't all that great of a delay. Yeah, we're gonna have to add some extra delay over here. Maybe not that much. There we go. I'm gonna keep testing this and making sure that this actually works. And now, I think we're ready to bring in a couple villagers. I am extremely nervous about this, because This is really where, if something were to go wrong, this is where it would go wrong, because villagers are never that easy to transport. Ever. So, this might end up... I'm expecting that this might take maybe 5 minutes. I'm going to quadruple that, because that's just how villagers work, and this will probably take about 20 minutes to do. Okay, that is Mr. Zombie. Thank goodness those doors are inverted, so the zombie couldn't bust it down. Now, did that zombie seriously drop gunpowder? That's crazy. And that's quite a bit of lag. But here we go. Let's see if we can send maybe 5 villagers successfully up to the island and unload them. And now, we will now transport 6 villagers, because turns out I collected an extra. We're going to transport 6 villagers up to the big island, and eventually, and figure out if the unloading system actually works. Here we go. Let's grab villager number 1. And if the minecart returns empty, then it won't actually cause any harm, because the villager simply won't be ejected. Or there won't be a villager to be ejected. So let's make sure that the launching system works. Why is the villager moving so slowly through the water? I thought they couldn't resist water currents. Huh. Maybe because I have a roof here. That might be why. Yeah! It works! Okay, we now have 1 villager in the chamber here. Let's get a 2nd villager. And let's see if actually stacking up these villagers like this would actually work. And also, I should probably add a roof to the... Oh, here we go. We got a librarian. Might be valuable. This might also be a cartographer. Yep, it's a cartographer. Okay. We now have 2 villagers in here. Fantastic. They're not moving around very much, which is actually quite convenient. Okay, I'm definitely going to add a roof to the water stream. Just as soon as I get the villagers in here. Here we go. We have the 3rd villager in now. Coming into the flying machine. Okay. And the cool part is I can basically spam the villagers, but it's not going to make much of a difference. It seems that the clerics in particular just don't like to be pushed by water streams. How strange. So far, so good. Let's get 2 more villagers in here. Here we go. There's 1 minecart. And... oh, we got a nitwit. Okay. And the 2nd minecart. Watch and make sure that they actually make it into this chamber here. And the minecart returned empty. This is one of those excellent examples of the system not breaking if the minecart returns empty because, well, there just aren't any villagers to eject. So nothing happens. As for this nitwit, he doesn't seem to want to go into the water stream. Oh, there he goes. Okay. Am I out of villagers? That's weird. Turns out I actually had to activate the villager breeder because I had indeed run out of villagers. So now the villager breeder is working again, and let's get the final villager into the chamber, and then we can test out the flying machine. Okay, here we go. Triggering the automatic villager fly up system. Here we go. That's a super technical term for what I just created here. Okay, here we go. Let's use the elytra to fly out of here some... there we go. Okay. Yikes. So let's see if this flying machine successfully carries these villagers. It worked in the test world. I'm not sure if it'll work here. I guess there's really only way to find out. Meanwhile, I might as well put these minecarts into the dispenser over here. This way we can also test the villager sorter over here. And I think this villager sort of needs mob proofing. Okay. Lag is quite serious here. Oh my goodness. Not only are those villagers still alive, but they're still clustered together. Wow. Okay. And here we go. And now we kick in the system. Oh my goodness. This is... Uh-oh. The glass didn't actually... That glass didn't get broken all the way. But it didn't get pushed back properly. That's not good. Okay, let's hop out of this crazy flying machine before I get sucked down. Here we go. Uh-oh. Yikes. Okay. So let's see. Let's evaluate the situation here. We now have 6 villagers in this one containment cell. Okay. Hold on. 6 villagers. Good. Now let's see. I put the 6 minecarts in here, so let's see if I understand how minecarts work. Oh my goodness. It actually works. Okay. And the villager drops down, ready to be judged. So this is a librarian. So they'll be sent off to the villager hall eventually. In fact, next episode they will. Next villager. Oh my, that system actually works really, really well. But the way to put the villagers into the minecarts like that. And I'm flying all of a sudden. Okay, this is working great. And cleric. What is... Okay. Let me see if I can actually capture the nitwit and see if the villager dropping mechanism or villager sorting mechanism for the nitwit actually works. Let's see. Villager drops down. I'm actually not entirely sure which ones I deemed useless and which weren't. Okay, this butchers and stuff were the ones that I deemed useless. Especially leather workers, because, yeah. Okay, cool. I think that's going to do it for this episode. So here's a little cinematic tour of what we built this episode. So we have this mechanism here, which will basically... Well, first we completely revamped the flying machine so that it can actually carry villagers up to the big island over here. So we have a system that'll take villagers and minecarts up to here, unload the villagers, and shove them into the flying machine, and then send off the flying machine once there's 20 villagers, automatically send the flying machine upwards, up to here, where then the cell of the elevator is partially dismantled, and the villagers are pushed into this chamber over here, where you can then put a whole bunch of minecarts into this dispenser and allow one villager at a time to enter the villager sorter. All of that was done this episode. And this is kind of a... So we spent the entire episode revamping something incredibly old. And now, because I'm not bad at making thumbnails anymore, as I was back in episode 15 when I built the original elevator, I can now make screenshots of things like this. So, let me just hop out of the camera account. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please let me know. Next episode, we're going to focus directly on top of this island and finally give it a purpose. This island has been huge and pointless, except for maybe lightning proofing my mansion, but pretty much pointless with nothing on it since, what, episode 13? That's embarrassing. It's time that we fix that. And that's what we're going to do next episode. We are going to give this island a purpose, and it has to do with what we did this episode with bringing villagers up here. So, thank you for watching. I will see you next Saturday, hopefully, for episode 69. See you later.